Let's make sure your mic is...
Testing.
Is it dead?
Is it off?
Oh, there we go. Now it's on.
Talk a little bit.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Welcome to A Connection is a Connection, the show where we take a break from business talk and dive into the personal side of things. Today we're sitting down with our guest. Wait, hold on. I think I mixed these up. Welcome to A Connection is a Connection, the show where we take a break from business talk and dive into the personal side of things. Today we're sitting down with our guest, Greg, to uncover the stories, quirks, and passions that may make them tick. Let's have some fun and get to know them like never before. First, give a warm welcome to our guest, Greg. Woo!
Yay.
We are here to keep it light and fun, so let's jump to some questions. But first, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
A brief introduction about Greg. Okay, so my name is Greg Scala, technically. I could start from where I'm from. Born and raised in Staten Island, New York. Woohoo, New York in the house, right? I come from 3 brothers in my household. My parents ended up being divorced. I grew up through Catholic school, public school, the traditional New York ways, I guess you could say. If you're from there, you get what I'm saying. Middle class family. My parents, when they were divorced, though, my mom struggled. Dad kind of was a little bitter and had some struggles. So there's definitely some humbleness in my life now because my mom did whatever she could do. I mean, there were times when she had to go back to work as an individual because she was a stay-home mom. And there were times we had to run electric cords to my neighbor's house because electric wasn't on.
Wow.
So I say that to say that she was, for sure, and still is, an amazing woman in our lives as far as keeping the house together, as far as whatever she could do to put food and shelter and be a family. So she taught me a lot of amazing family values. And I think a lot of who I've become as a human being, for sure, has to do with mom. Dad, got his looks, got his talents, got his whatever, charm, eyes, hands. Both amazing people from Brooklyn. Their families were from Italy, Italian descent, came through Ellis Island to better their lives and look for better things, and came with nothing here to America, which is the American dream, right?
Yeah.
Which is funny how it happens when you grow up, because as children of parents, you always want to do better than your parents did, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But mom, going back to her, biggest focus in my life is I never forget the things that she may have given me as a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old. Parents were divorced. When she met a man and she said, don't worry, I would never bring a man in this house that's not going to love you more than me. So she gave me a lot of good ethics and morals. My older brother, on the other hand, he was a little bit in the mix. He was a little bit of a problem child. Happens. He had to go into the Marine Corps to better his life. So there was some things that straightened him out, made him become a man that he needed to, which was definitely, as a younger brother, I got beat up. I got dragged down. I was handcuffed to railings because he wanted to go out and had to watch me because mom was working. A lot of craziness, but all in good tent.
And it turns you into the person you are.
It's amazing how some of the things you look back in life that I've learned, you don't realize what they could do for you, even if they're negative or they're bad, how it just creates who you become. So I look at my siblings, my brothers, and how we have a lot of the similarities who we are, but how we are also different in many ways, but what the household gave us. And as a dad myself, you try and focus on those things for your child or children to give them the best. One of the things that I do with my daughter, which her name is Danielle, and she's 14 years old today. She's an amazing kid. But one of the things that I, try and give her are the same thing my mom gave me, which is those morals, those ethics, but whatever I can give with the tools as much as you can to go out and fight on your own in the world,
Yeah.
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So as a kid, for me, growing up with mom and not much money, I had to get a job right away when I was 13, washing dishes. And it was kind of pretty cool because it was an Italian pork store, like a
Oh.
delicatessen. So if you ever walked into one of them, actually here in Scottsdale, there's a place that's from Chicago. That is an amazing place. I'll get you the name of it. I forget off the top of my head, but those places were family owned, no franchise, which I think is also something that instills in a human being.
Yes.
Franchise is like corporate world. When you work for them, it's one way, that's it. And when you work for a family owned, it's their way, and
Yeah.
it's a little different. They don't give up on you as long as you don't give up on them, but they drag you through the mud. So I remember washing dishes as my first job, and I loved it because they made some great pizza rolls. They made some, cold cuts and fresh bread, fresh mozzarella, and I got to take that home. So it was awesome because mom again worked, struggled, and I helped put some food on the table. Not a lot, but it did.
That's
Know.
Very cool.
And so, as a kid growing up, brother went into the Marine Corps. I went to work. Still stayed in school. Mom had to work. Eventually, she met a wonderful man, which is my stepfather. His name was Joe. He was another father figure in my life. He instilled things that my real dad, which I had a great relationship, didn't, or just different personalities. I was actually blessed. There's people out there thinking about, I want to go through a divorce. I don't know with the children. Well, not all the time is it's bad. In my life, I was blessed because I got a wonderful stepmother. Her name is Dawn. She married my father. And probably one of the best things he did was marry somebody 13 years younger than him, right?
Oh my gosh.
She took care of him when he got sick and passed, and she got a backbone in her. So she was good. She was good for him. He was lucky to have her. And but she also taught me a lot. She was another mom to me. I mean, the stories I could probably tell, there's a lot of cursing, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, but that was just, nobody wanted to listen to each other in an Italian household. Everybody had to yell.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody makes fun of me because they're like, Greg, calm down. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I try so much. I'm always so loud. I'm just that person that's loud. Nobody listened. You had to fight over the table, just to pass the ketchup or something.
Or the cheese or anything.
Yeah, right. Just anything. But very family. I came from, you do whatever you have to do for your family. Doesn't matter if you have 50 cents or 50,000.
Yeah.
You just do whatever you have to do. So I grew up with that family generation, and it was a good household, even though there was chaos. Mom really, really, really did whatever she could do, and she gave me a lot, even through the bad. Going to work, brother in the Marine Corps, now stepfather came into the picture. I was probably about 10 years old, or maybe a little older now. And amazing man, gave me another dad figure, just like my mom. But he taught me some things that molded into me, I guess kept me out of trouble. Never got arrested, never had any criminal activity. Thank God I wouldn't be where I am today, right? And I got into cars. I got into the automotive industry. It was just something that attracted me when I went to go to high school. I went to a vocationary high school. And I don't know, something about it just intrigued me. Maybe my grandfather did some mechanic work. My dad was very mechanical. And I had this mechanical, ability that most people didn't have with my hands and tools. So I went to a vocationary high school in Staten Island, New York. And I went into an automotive program. And I don't know what intrigued me about it. I just love cars and ended up building cars, racing cars, Mustangs. I was a Ford guy.
That's
Like you ever see on TV where they quarter-mile drag race on the side of the highway? That was me, with my friends,
We need a video. We need to see the video.
I wish. It was a long time ago. Not that I'm that old, but we don't tell people the age here.
Yeah,
Right?
no. It's just a number. It's okay.
But that also gave character, getting to know who somebody is. All these things that you're around, build who you are. You don't realize it growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was around some bad kids, but I stayed away from the trouble. I guess I was just a person that didn't want the drama in my life. stayed away from the drugs because I just was fearful of something put fear into me with it. Don't know. Thank God. I guess the car was my drug. We all die for recognition. Humans, I tell my daughter there's two different types of humans. Ones that we all need that recognition. They'll drag you down to the mud to get it for them. Or the other ones that'll lift you up and help you support you.
True.
Right? So, who you surround yourself with is very, very important.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out with 5 broke friends, you're number 6.
Yep.
Don't take stock advice from your broke uncle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those are the things that I learned around the people that I was with. Even at the time, maybe some of them weren't in the right place at the right time in my life. But being on the street, drag racing with kids from Red Hook and Brooklyn that you didn't want to be around, but it was fun. Watching them break girls' jaw, doing some crazy off-the-wall stuff, it really, when you're exposed to stuff like that, you're just like, wow, okay, this is a reality of life. You grow up fast.
Yeah.
And it was fun, though. But the car world gave me my safety. So I ended up turning wrenches, building cars, ended up working for an automotive shop. And I think that was a great learning experience because it brought me into business, brought me into entrepreneurship, which I love today, but it also made a character of who I am. Mm-hmm. If I go back to, who is Greg? What am I about? It also taught me early stages about me knowing that I love to do for others or I love to help people. It taught me that even though you didn't like maybe someone's personality or something about them that you wanted to get away from, they're still human. Sure, and we still have to care for them. And we should still, I'm a Christian or a God believer, whatever you project in the world comes back to you.
Yeah.
And maybe I didn't focus on that as a younger age in my 20s, again, not to date myself, but as you get older, it becomes definitely more, intriguing to focus on. And that also builds a character on yourself, So good morals from mom, going through different jobs in automotive industry and building cars and racing cars led me to my own business, which also built character when somebody don't pay you money. And you're like, but I just did all this work for you.
Mm-hmm.
What, I'm going to track you down now. It's not going to work out too well, and no, in the right way, of course.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal. We don't do that. You got to get the courts involved in small claims court.
Of course.
Make sure they don't get hit by a car. But anyway, and we're kidding. You learn different things in life from that, which again also builds character. I think your environment, number one, not only, it starts in the household. I think my household, as much as there was craziness, as much as there was a divorce, as much as there was separation, as much as there was no money, and at times there was money, as much as drama or cops were called because that, there was also amazing stuff, right? And those things, if you could in the world focus on more of the positive things and not worry about too much what people really think of you, because we do that. I gotta have the best watch because I go to a bar and this girl's going to see me. She's going to be interested in me. Well, is it really about the watch?
Yeah.
I want her to really know who I am and what my heart's about, what I care about. So maybe I shouldn't wear the watch or whatever that may be, unless you want a materialistic person, and that's what you like, go for it.
Exactly.
That's for you. But I think society and social media in today's time, from when I was a kid, people have to be careful of because there's a different stigma in the world. There's that stigma that is kind of like a fake stigma that now we're portrayed with that I didn't have when I was a kid. When I was a kid and I had to learn something, I couldn't go on YouTube. I had to break a knuckle or get stitches to mechanically do it. Mm-hmm. And then you realize, well, I could do this 4 different ways and there's only one way that works. But when today's society, there's only 2 ways, the wrong way or this way. The other 3 you just didn't do. Yeah. Right? So there's different, generations as we grow up. When you look at that as you get older, you're like, wow, man, society changes pretty quick. Yeah. And I try and teach my daughter some stuff like, give me that phone, go figure that out.
Change the tire.
You got to do some things manually, and but there's also a positive to the technology in the world today for sure, as we all know.
You can do things faster.
You can do things faster. There is an easier way in some aspects to learn things. This, as we all know out there, so much stuff.
Yes.
But as far as a person and their character and what it builds, I think we all need to be very open to a lot. I think for me, when I was younger, I knew when I was going into my 20s and I was starting to build a career, and now I was running and managing this very successful business in the automotive industry. I wasn't a mechanic anymore. I was put up to manage and run. I learned from a very successful man about business. And don't worry, Greg, I'm going to teach you because you don't know. You're not tainted. You're not broken. You're going to know my way, and my way is the best. I'm like, okay. And that's a blessing to learn, but you also have to do it your own way. Mm-hmm. You got to, whatever it may be in business or health or your personality, if it's dating or, you got to have certain standards for yourself. And I think the younger generation don't know that. Maybe some do. I feel that my standards when I was in my teenage years, my 20s, and now older, definitely have changed. Not only have they changed, there's some more in place.
Yeah.
I don't accept certain things. It's just non-negotiable.
Yeah.
It's called that line of scrimmage. That happened to me before, and I'm never letting somebody do that to me again. Mm-hmm. So as we get older, we change personality-wise. We build different characters. We build different standards. We build different, things in our lives that are more valuable, or sometimes maybe less valuable.
Yeah,
right?
True.
But we live and we learn. So.
We live and we learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the journey is the most important part.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And as when I was younger, it was more about, hey, I want to do this career, I want to make money, I want to go out and party, I want to, whatever it may be that your interests were, there was no focus on the journey. Mm-hmm. The journey could also make your character. Mm-hmm. The journey could make or break you.
It grows you, though.
It grows you. Your failure is your success. So when you're out there and you fail, that's okay. Yeah. Because guess what? What's on the other side of failure is what's sad is happy. You ain't gonna just be happy without being sad. Yeah. Right? You have to get uncomfortable to become comfortable. And what is the saying Einstein says? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's called insanity. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're not getting what you want to achieve, or you're not getting to who you want to become, or you're too worried about, as I was when I was younger, maybe what Tom, Peter, or Paul had, and I wasn't worried about, well, I'm not Tom, Peter, or Paul. I have to grow into what Tom, Peter, or Paul is. So how do I do that?
And you can't just change overnight.
You can't just change overnight. You have to put work into yourself. You have to put work into, if it's personal development or finding somebody who has something that you want, find it. I found the mentor one time, my buddy DJ, and we were in a network marketing company together, and I was broke-minded, and it radically changed my life. Most people are skeptical and broke, and this is a scam, and it's not going to work. And I was that person, the old Greg versus the new Greg. And I went to these events and these seminars now that I got older, and it completely changed who I am, because I realized that no matter what you do, it's this. Yes. Like if you told me manifestation don't work, the old Greg would say, you're crazy. This is just a scam. They want you to buy a book. The new Greg says, buy 10 books, because what you don't know is what you don't know. Yeah. And you have to grow into whoever you want to become. My buddy DJ, he was so excited about this venture. And I didn't have the belief, but I didn't know it, but I stole his belief. I stole his excitement. There's a saying that another mentor told me is, pay attention, get excited, and never quit. That's actually going to be one of my next tattoos, by the way. But I love this saying because no matter what it is, if you pay attention to it, you learn it. If you're excited, you'll do it. And if you just never quit, you'll accomplish it. Yeah. It may take you 10 times to do something, and it takes me 20. If we never quit, we'll get there.
Exactly. Well, you're answering some of the questions we've asked. So
okay.
let's hop into some questions.
All right, so why don't you go into some of the questions then?
Let's hop into some questions. questions.
All right.
Awesome.
Just that I wanted to say, we like the New York accent.
A lot of people do. And actually, it's not an accent. Everybody else has an accent.
Yeah, that's what everyone
You want me to
says.
say coffee now? Okay, coffee.
Coffee, water, orange.
I don't say orange.
Yes, you do.
Oh, jeez.
Say
Okay.
water.
Water?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's water.
It's water.
All right. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the most ridiculous thing you try to impress someone?
With?
Yep.
Ridiculous
Ridiculous thing that you've done or with?
Good
Money.
question.
Money.
Money? Yes. If I was younger, I thought that was the most impressive thing. Now I think it's the most ridiculous thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good one. Do you snore at night?
Not anymore because I have a CPAP machine. So prior to my CPAP machine, yes.
Okay.
Very much so I did. But good question.
How do you want to be remembered by the people that love you the most?
That's a great question. How I want to be remembered is definitely a standard in my life that I focus on every day. Is that guy was honest, that guy would take his shirt off his back for you, and that guy is just a good guy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's that guy. I want to be that
Nice.
guy.
And you are that guy.
I am that guy. I already know.
What's the hardest lesson you've ever had to learn?
Oof, hardest lesson I ever had to learn. What was the hardest lesson? I had to move. I moved from New York to Arizona. The hardest lesson is I thought I'd never see my mom and my stepfather in an environment again. So leaving home for me was one of the, it made me grow up fast. But then mom followed me because I was the best son.
How old were you?
It was 30.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
30
you're
years
still-
old, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 29?
Okay.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
So, mom always wanted to go, and my stepfather to Florida, New York to Florida,
Yeah.
like California to Arizona. And, a buddy of mine came out here, and he was just my bro. And I came to visit him. I was not engaged, serious with the woman that I was with. And I'm like, this is clean, it's new. And I always wanted to leave New York for the fact of never wanted to be in the snow, wanted more for my life.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do I have an opportunity maybe start and open up a business was always my dream. Even though I did some small stuff back there. Just more opportunity. Who doesn't want opportunity, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why everybody comes to America.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen that, what he seen. And at the time I was seriously getting engaged, and she didn't see it, but then she realized what we could have. But the hardest thing was leaving home to do it,
Yeah.
which was so uncomfortable that now I can move anywhere. And that feeling of no fear, 2,500 miles away, packed my stuff, put my race car in a trailer, drove across country, losing the brakes in the truck, no less. But that was the story.
Oh my goodness.
Boom. All right. If you woke up tomorrow as the opposite sex, what's the first thing you'd do?
I don't know if I should say that.
Oh
You want me to be truthful?
Yes.
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 No, I can't be truthful. No. But that's a great question. Honestly and respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
that is a great question. I think a woman's just as equal as a man. So it's kind of hard to answer. Probably stare myself in the mirror. Like, what? You know?
So bad.
I don't want to take this out of context because I like women, not men, and no disrespect to who do. Probably put some dresses on, do my nails and hair. And I love women who have. So I'm divorced now, and if I get back in the dating scene, only women that I want to be around, the ones that have their nails done, their eyelashes done, and their hair done. If you don't got that, you're out.
See ya.
I'll even pay for it if you're worth it. But all kidding aside, probably dress up. Besides seeing myself first in the mirror and go, what?
Wow.
And then maybe trying to empower people.
There you go.
Yeah, if that answers that
Yeah, that does.
truthfully.
All right, Greg. We have a special question that we ask every single one of our guests.
Please.
What are you doing for God?
What do I do for God? God first. Every day when I wake up, that's a great question. I like that. So I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. Was brought up a Roman Catholic. As I got older, I got more involved with faith. I got to see it. I got to see death more. People die than they should have. Lost an amazing cousin when he was 30 years old. You go through those trials and tribulations, and God comes in your life with that more. God first, every day. Number one. Number one meaning that he's on my mind when I first wake up, because I know I woke up and I'm excited that I'm alive. But my other thing is I thank him when I lay down before I close my eyes, because I made it back.
Exactly.
That's the God's honest truth.
Yes.
For sure.
So my faith in God or Jesus Christ, I have a lot of faith in him in my steps. Going through divorce is challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed that we're best friends. We have an amazing daughter, obviously, and I would never change anything for it. But he's got my journey. Like, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit there and dwell and be mad or sad, which that happens to everybody. Like, he's got it planned out. What do I got to lose?
Yeah.
It's only one way it's going to happen. It's going to be the best way. And you have to go through these trials and tribulations to get better.
Yes.
Whatever they may be. Business, setbacks, sicknesses,
Yeah.
illnesses. And again, that goes back to building character and who a human is, and makes us different because everybody goes through different stuff.
Sure.
Exactly.
But
So
God
good.
first.
God first,
Yes.
always. Let's hop into some more fun questions. What's the one reality TV show you'd absolutely dominate?
Oh, okay. That's a good question, but I want to answer that honestly. What I would dominate, TV show. Right off the cuff comes in the Shark Tank,
What?
But-
Really?
but not as a person offering an invention, more as the shark.
Really?
Yeah, I think I dominate that, especially with my accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, what is this? Get out of here with that.
That's a good
What is this
one.
going to do for society?
That's
This is plastic. You're going to hurt things. Go away. Yeah.
Be more logical. If aliens landed tomorrow and asked you to come with them, would you go? Why or why not?
I wouldn't go because I would never want to leave my daughter if I didn't know I could come back. And that's number one in my life. If I knew for sure I'd come back, absolutely, let's take a ride. Like, what do I got to lose?
Give a fun adventure.
As long as I knew I was safe, for sure. If I didn't know to answer that question, I'd be like, sorry, dude, I don't know what you got going on here, but,
Well, you probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I know.
You wouldn't know.
But if I did, then I can answer that,
Yeah?
right?
Okay, this is a really fun one. What would your WWE wrestler persona be, and what's your signature move?
If I was in WWF,
WWE.
what is the E?
It's the same.
So it's wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
wrestling.
wrestling.
What would be my name?
Yeah.
Daddy. Well, actually, no. Call me Zaddy.
Zaddy!
Right? Why not? I'm an older guy and I'm a Zaddy. I'd be the Zaddy wrestler, and my signature move would be the pile driver.
Heck yeah. Love it.
Right on.
I love it. Okay. Imagine you're sitting next to God on the bench. Let me restart this. Imagine you are sitting on the bench next to God. As you sit together, he smiles at you and asks, "What's on your mind?" What are you going to tell him?
Let me see what I don't see. Meaning
Wow.
afterlife.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the people that aren't here.
It's amazing. We haven't had that answer yet. I
That's
love
it?
That.
That would be it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
let me
that.
see it. I don't got to go there.
I
But
don't wanna go,
but
let me see.
for the purpose of like what we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
love to know, even if I forgot about it.
Sure.
But
that
at least you
moment.
got to see like a little.
And then the people that obviously that we lost in our lives, our family, friends, that'd be great.
It'd be amazing to see them again.
That's it.
Well, awesome.
Thank you, Greg, for taking the time of your day to spend it with us.
My pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about your business and how people can connect with you?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. So I grew up in, like I was telling you, in the trades industry, which led me, when I came out here, a buddy of mine started a very successful plumbing business. I partnered with him, and for the last 18 years, we have an amazing service plumbing company. Doing that also, obviously, you got to make more than one stream of income. Being in the trades, I've been an investor for about 17 years now, buying and selling homes. Been through the mud with that, which led me to get my real estate license, being that, not to say it, but there's so many real estate agents, but unfortunately, there's very little, maybe the top 1% of 56,000 here in Arizona that really even know what they're doing. And out of that 1%, there's a small percentage that even, help people. So it's another passion of mine. Like, I work 7 days a week. Space, if you could see, I don't know if they could see, is a team here that is very innovative. I am blessed to be a part of them. I'm not a single agent that just goes out and does transactions. I have a full staff. What's amazing about their innovativeness is the systems and the tools in the business, the systems and the tools win that make me more successful, but not just for Greg and about me and money, because I don't chase money. It's all about my client's experience, the vendors and the things that we do and how we hold your hand, how we care. And we became number one on Zillow in the Valley.
Wow.
We get, over 500 and something leads a month, which is very, very, very challenging to do. There are some very, very successful agents here alongside me that I get to learn from, I get tools from. But besides the data that make me the best agent, it's just the staff that really helps. So real estate is definitely a passion of mine. As an investor, I have a goal to own about 50 rentals in the next 5 years.
Wow. That's
You got to have big goals that will lead my legacy for my daughter to have a passive income, hopefully mine when I retire for sure. But yeah, you can check us out. You can go to spacere.com. That's our website. You can reach out to me on social media, Gregory Scala, Realtor. I'm sure you will find me if you're looking to buy and sell, invest. I love to help people invest money. Most people don't realize you just need a little bit to buy a house. Somebody else pays for it. And in long term, you could always have success in real estate, commercial or residential.
awesome.
So that's what I do.
Well, thank you so much. We've
Yeah,
had
my
a great
pleasure.
time with you, and stay tuned for the next interview.
Thank you.